Man, I just had the most incredible summertime card show I have ever been a part of. I'm blown away by this thing. This was insane. Anyone that is telling you that the hobby is slowing down and gonna crash is nuts. And I'll explain why in this video. Before I get into what all that is about, let me tell you, my name is Dell, and I sling cardboard to feed my kids. I recently went full-time into trading cards, and I am taking you on my journey and sharing every step of the way so that we can bounce ideas off of each other and learn from each other. And I share tips and tricks along the way on what I am learning as I'm doing it. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe. All right, let's get into it. So, I am blown away. I had a card show at a mall this weekend. It was a 2-day show, a Saturday and Sunday. It's the middle of July. This is the slow time of the year if you're into trading cards. Trading cards in shows, on eBay, everywhere. It all slows down in the summer because everyone has things going on. Well, it was fairly slow. The foot traffic was pretty slow. But man, oh man, was I busy. I mean, the foot traffic was slow, but I was running the entire time. I was extremely busy. I've never been this busy on a summertime show. I had people lined up. There were times where I had a table full of people I had 2 tables. I had a table full of people for an hour straight, if not longer, where there were people lined up like 4 or 5 in a row waiting for me to get done with my other customers. My wife and kids actually came up and helped me out today on day number 2 on Sunday, and I was everything I could do to keep up with what was going on. Now, I felt really overwhelmed, and that could just be me. Maybe I wasn't actually overwhelmed, but I was doing deals. I mean, I got stacks. Check out this stack of cards that I picked up today. This is actually 2 days of pickups, but I'm going to share all of my pickups today. This is wild for a summertime show. So anyone that is saying that things are going to crash, they're wrong. They're wrong. If we're doing this kind of stuff in the summertime, and I am as busy as I was during the summertime, this thing is not going to slow down anytime soon. Yes, Pokemon side, the card market, the prices have softened a little bit. Honestly, they might be just getting to a point where they should be, maybe, considering how much demand there is. Because, things flew up really high because there was so much demand. Things are kind of settling back into where they should be. That being said, there is just so much still demand from people that are coming to these shows and on eBay. To be honest, it's just everywhere. Everyone has caught the hobby bug. I deal in sports cards and Pokemon cards. I'll tell you, I am so glad that I do both, because if one is softening and not doing so great for me, the other one seems to be picking up the steam, and vice versa. If Pokemon's not doing well for me, then sports is doing well. If sports isn't doing well, then Pokemon's doing well. And it's worked out extremely well for me. I tell you what, I have a lot of liquid cards. I have a lot of really good inventory. I'll show you guys again. This box right here was full of singles. I brought this whole thing. I sold that whole middle row, as you can see, is empty. That whole middle row of singles is gone, and I filled it up with more inventory to bring home. It was those stacks of inventory, which is right here, it was too much to fit in the case. So I sold through all that stuff, plus I had some. I have that's 5 rows that I have, and it's about 5.5 rows. And I sold through a row and a half, and I bought / traded for a row and a half, and made good money on top of it. So I sell singles, I sell sealed, both Pokemon and sports, anything I can get my hands on, basically. I'm not scalping, I'm not going to Walmart, I'm not going to Target. I am buying collections, and I have a really good hookup with a good friend of mine who owns a card shop. I have made friends with him, and he helps me out with sourcing some sealed inventory. Pokemon sealed sold extremely well today. I price all of my stuff under market. And if you're under market, people see that price tag. They know that you're a reasonable person. They are more likely than not going to buy from you. There was a lot of guys around the show, as always, that price their stuff above market, and they just don't move it. So if you have the ability to price it under market, well, even if it's $5, people still want a deal. I actually met a couple of guys that recognized me from some of my content. One guy remembered me from Instagram. Another guy remembered me from TikTok. Haven't really found anybody that's recognized me from YouTube, which is actually the longest that I've been making content is on YouTube. But that's fine. And this is in the middle of Iowa, man. It's like eastern Iowa. It's Cedar Falls, Iowa. It's not a big population. So it's pretty crazy that people are recognizing me. All right, so this might turn into a fairly long video because I'm going to share with you guys all of the pickups that I made. And I'm super excited about a lot of this stuff. A couple of the things that I picked up for Pokemon-wise yesterday. Really awesome vendor that I met up there. He had some awesome stuff, really good stuff. He was selling some of his personal collection, which I've talked about multiple times. If you want to start vending, sell some of your personal collection. It's a great place to start, and then just start that snowball process. He had some really cool stuff, some stuff that I'm going to add to my PC, and some awesome stuff that might even grade. That's the nice thing about doing card shows in person, is you can take the cards out, take a look at them, and see if you think that they're gonna grade well. I can't guarantee that they will because I didn't have my light, and I'm home now, so I will end up looking through this stuff. But yeah, and then just tons of sports, and I am just over the moon with how good this show was. These summer shows are always slow, and it was in a mall. And though I never go into those kind of shows with a high expectation for sales, and I was mind blown. Excellent show. I will share with you guys what I picked up. I did more than $3,500 in sales, which is an extremely very good show for me. 2-day show where I do that is excellent. I'm happy with that. In the fall, and the fact that I did this in the summer, man, what's this fall gonna bring, guys? All right, let's get into those pickups. I'll show you what I picked up. All right, guys, let's get into these pickups. I'm gonna try and separate this by sports and Pokemon. I'm going to start with day 1, and then I'll go into day 2. I'll do day 1 Pokemon, day 1 Pokemon, day 1 sports, day 2 Pokemon, day 2 sports, or however it goes. But I'll try to split it up so you guys can maybe fast forward if you're not interested in Pokemon or if you're not interested in sports. We'll go ahead and start with Pokemon for day 1. You saw my stacks. Now this is all from day 1. Let's go ahead and get into day 1. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to tell you exactly what I paid for everything and what I got in trade, just because they're just too much. I couldn't keep track of what I had going on. Or I kept track, but I took pictures and everything along the way, just for ease. I'm just going to make it really quick and show you guys what I'm picking up. I picked this up because I believe my son doesn't have this yet, and we are trying to complete the set in Japanese for him, just to save a little bit of money. Any Glaceon or any evolutions, I picked up a bunch of low-end stuff for my daughter. This has the winter stamp, so she'll love this. Yeah, and we're just gonna pick up some big cards, some low-end cards, and I love picking up tag teams. Tag teams are awesome. And yeah, just deal after deal. So this was like one deal, I believe, and I ended up picking up another Salamence. One of these I think looked pretty clean. I picked up an Alakazam for my own personal collection, and actually the kid remembered that I was collecting Alakazam, brought me a couple other Alakazams throughout the day today, and asked if I was interested in picking those up, but I already had them for my collection. So I'd like to pick up as many Alakazams as I can. We got some low-end stuff here. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, I buy low-end too. Low-end does well. I mean, I tell you what, if you have big cards and little cards, it's the same thing. Little cards will sell one day, big cards will sell the next day. This is a fairly big card. More evolutions for my daughter. I sold a Zekrom and I actually picked one up, and this one is pretty clean, so I might be able to grade it. And we will end Pokemon. This is how I ended my day. This is another dealer. This tag team is going into my collection. I don't think it's going to be gradable, but these two are gradable. Or I'm hoping. I'm going to double check them. But they looked really clean, and I'm hoping that I can 10 them up and maximize my profits on that. I have to sneak that past my daughter. If she sees it, I'll probably end up giving it to her because I'm a sucker. Okay, let's move into Day 1 Sports. Day 1 Sports was pretty good. I'm picking up golds as always, and there was a guy that had some gold Topps Chrome, and I'm always picking up Shea. This is still part of that same deal. A couple more golds. Luke Lachey, he actually played for Iowa. I collect Iowa players in their Iowa jerseys, so I'll probably let this one go, but it should do really well around me because there's a bunch of Iowa fans around me. This was part of one deal. I actually traded a card. Gosh, I don't remember. If I did so many deals. If I can remember what the card was, I'll pop it up here so you can see what the trades were, because I do remember this was a trade. Anyways, I am picking up Malik Willis for personal collection and in case he does well for the Dolphins. I'm a Dolphins fan, and I always like picking up case hits. Anyways, I'm hoping that he turns out. I'll keep a couple of his cards and then sell a couple of his cards. And this was all one deal here. This was, I believe this was a trade also, but I don't remember exactly. Bunch of modern day stuff, and these are really cool. I like these cards. I can't remember. Night Moves, I believe. Is that what they're called? No, they're Starry Nights. Of course, it's after the painting. Anyways, so I picked up a bunch of these. This was all part of one deal, and he traded, God, I think he traded into a card. I can't remember. Most of these are around 20 bucks, little under, and this is all good stuff, all great inventory. None of this is going into my personal collection because I'm a Dolphins fan. And we will end it with a couple of Shoheis. Shohei always does well, and we got a couple of lower end ones. I think this is like a $40 card, and this is like a $20 card. And some mid-era stuff for my personal preferences. I might keep this Jerry Rice. It's really sweet. I like the old numbered stuff, and this is numbered out of 250. And a Shaq. Okay, this is day number 2, Pokemon. Look at all of that. It's crazy amount of buys I had. We are going to start with a personal collection card, Shining Arceus. I actually collect. I'm starting Arceus, Palkia, Dialga. I don't know. They're catching my eye, and I keep buying them. So I'm gonna add this to my own collection. We got a low end deal here. This kid was awesome. I know Trey. Trey is the guy that brought him over. He actually mentioned that he recognizes me from my Instagram reels. So this is his nephew that he brings with him to card shows. Super sweet kid, full of energy. He picked out like a $18 card, and he wanted to trade these. Came up to like 12 bucks, and he was running a hard bargain, and I just enjoyed his energy, so I let him go with it. And this is actually Trey. He made a deal with me, and I'm happy with this deal here. He traded with me. I can't remember what he picked up, but yeah, super awesome guys, and really cool that he recognized me from a show, from my content, and met me at the show. And we've actually interacted a couple of times, and my daughter played with his nephew, and yeah, super great guy. All right, here's another low end deal. Nothing crazy here. This is all good eBay stuff. or in my binder. Same thing here. This is a bunch of kids wanted to do some trades. I was willing to trade with them. They have low end stuff. They traded it into a bigger card. And that's the great thing about doing these card shows in person, is you can trade low end stuff into a bigger card. Here is some eBay inventory. Nothing at all crazy in here, but I'm always buying this stuff because it always does well in my eBay store. So even if it's Japanese, I still pick it up at a reasonable price, as long as it makes sense to me. All right, I don't know how much of this stuff is actually from one deal, but that's a bigger card. There's some bigger cards here. Lower end there. Couple of big cards. These are nice to have in the showcase. Mewtwo that is still sealed up, which is sweet. And this is a father and his son. They both made separate trades. Awesome. The kid was I remember how patient he was. He was super patient kid for his age. I think he was like maybe 6, 7, somewhere around there, maybe 8. And he was just quiet, patient, polite. I ended up giving him a free pack because I just told him, I was like, man, you have been so patient with your dad, because I was so busy the whole show, and he stood there and waited for me and didn't say a word until I talked to him, and you could tell he was very passionate about what he had. This was his dad's stuff that I picked up from him. This is going to my son, and I didn't realize that actually was a pack inserted card, and but I picked it up because it's cool. That was his dad's deal. Let's see, was there anything else? Actually, and and this was the kid, super patient kid, and we made a trade too. So it was awesome. This is going to my son as well. Do remember, so we'll go with this slab. I picked up a slab, and this was a big deal. I will pop this up on the screen. Again, father and son duo. And the son really wanted to trade into a Victini. I had it priced at TCG player pricing, but it hasn't sold in about a month. So the dad kind of helped him out, helped him negotiate and everything. And we came to a deal, and it was a mix. It was actually a sports card and 3 cards. The connecting art. Really sweet. So I want to complete this for my son in the Japanese. I know Dylan sees this. He's probably gonna want these really bad. But there's like, gosh, what is it? $500 worth of value here. I know that's way off center, but I don't think I could pull the trigger and give this to him. We're still working on trying to get the Japanese set. And in the meantime, this will look really cool in the showcase. And then this actually is awesome as well. There's not many sales on it, but he added this into the collection and did the trade, and I have a feeling this will do really well for me in my showcase. Okay, let's wrap it up with 2 giant stacks of sports. This is day 2 sports pickups. Yeah, let's get into this. So I'm gonna have to move some stuff out of the way. All right, I'm always picking up guys that I think are going to be liquid in the summertime, or excuse me, in the fall time. I'm a big football guy, so I picked up a lot of football. And I'm buying guys that I think are going to move for me in the fall. So that's the idea behind all of this. Buy football in the summertime and sell it in the fall, and buy basketball in the fall time and sell it in the winter, and the baseball, buy it in the winter, sell it in the spring. That's kind of the idea anyways. So, let's see what we got here. Tyler Warren, I'm picking up, I sold a big, actually I traded for a big Tyler Shuck card. Actually, I think that's going to come up here at some point. But anyways, I know his stuff is reasonable, but I think his stuff is going to be pretty hot coming up. These are going to be good movers. Low end stuff here to start off with. Nothing crazy, but all stuff that will end up moving. There's a Tyler Show card. Shug, whatever, I don't know how it's pronounced. This was a cheap deal. The kid just wanted to get rid of them. This is not stuff I would normally pick up, but he sold it to me at $1 a card. So I said I would do it at $1 a card. And he's like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm just trying to get rid of it. So all stuff that should probably go on my eBay store. Nothing too crazy in here. Honestly, there might be a $5 card mixed in here. I don't know, but I'm gonna give it a shot on eBay and see what's up. This was a lot that I picked up. Look at this card. This is sweet. I've never seen this parallel before. This is a Topps On Fire parallel, and this is from straight from Topps. It looks like a chrome, but it is not a chrome card. So I've never seen that before. I think it was sweet, so I picked it up. Got a Mirror Gold. Brock Purdy does really well around me. Tyler Shuck. Picked up a Dak PSA 10. And let's see, is this that whole deal? Yes, okay. So I had a case hit Tyler Shuck White Knight card, and there was a younger kid. Man, he had to have been maybe 12. But he had some heat, man. He had some really good stuff. He actually told me he went through and priced everything last night, and all his prices were right on point. And we made a really easy trade. And he was very talkative, super nice kid. And yeah, I was just really impressed with him. It's crazy that kids are walking around with cash and monster. I mean, these aren't monster cards by any means, but really good cards. And able to make their own deals. It's incredible to me where this hobby is right now, and the fact that kids are learning personal people skills and able to make money as well. So I think it's a really good thing. Some people may not agree, but I think it's awesome. Anyways, this kid really made a good impression on me, and I was blown away by what he had. So he had some really good stuff, and everything was priced exactly where it should be. And he traded into a really big case hit Tyler Shuck card, and I got into some awesome inventory, lower end stuff, the stuff that will move really well for me. And yeah, it was just a good deal for both of us. All of these names will do well for me. I'm sure they do well for him too. I mean, clearly he knew what he was doing, because he had great names, and it was all football, which is what I do. Love it, man. I'm super pumped about this, and we ended it with a Randy Moss case hit. All right, guys, that is going to do it. Really long video. If you stuck around to the end, I really appreciate you. Yeah, so I don't think we are going to crash anytime soon, man. This hobby is on fire, and it just continues to be on fire, and I'm here for it, and I'm so glad that I went full-time when I did, because I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Alright guys, that is going to do it for this video. I appreciate you checking it out, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.